Hello and welcome to this video. Today I want to talk about why I think all software developers should at least during one time during their life have tried to be self-employed, and more specifically a self-employed consultant. I think that's a great career move, and I think it's a great experience to have, even if you later decide to maybe not stay as a software consultant and self-employed. But I think it's very valuable lesson and experience to have. And first I would like to tell a little bit about myself. I graduated almost 9 years ago with a master's degree in software engineering, and since then I worked 5 years as an employed consultant, and after that 1 year at a bank, and since then I have been self-employed. So I've been self-employed for 2.5 years now. The reason I like being a consultant is that I get to do a lot more than being just employed at a single company. So when I was employed consultant, I had at most 5 projects going on at the same time. Maybe that's not so common, but at least being able to change project from time to time. I think it's quite common that maybe you are in one place for like a year or two and then change, and I really like that, to get the variation, and I think especially in the beginning of your career it's very valuable to get the experience from different domains. So I've been working with a lot of different things, and I've been programming in different languages like JavaScript, Python, C++, C#, a lot of different things, thanks to being a consultant and getting that exposure. And later when I was employed at the bank, like after that year, I knew the application we were working on, and it was more like a routine. And then if you want new experience, like then you more or less need to quit and find another job and then start over. And that's what I think is appealing with being a consultant, that you don't have to quit and start a new job, but you just change project and you can keep everything else. Even more so being self-employed, that gives even more flexibility, and you get to choose even more yourself. So that brings me to the benefits I see with being self-employed. That's you decide yourself how much or how little you want to work. I have colleagues who work maybe like 60%, who don't want to work 100, or colleagues who work 100% but then they take maybe 10 weeks of vacation instead of the standard 4 or 5 or 6 if you're lucky here in Sweden. And you also get to like set your own salary and how much you want to save in pension, and you decide when you want to buy new equipment, so like what kind of computer you want, how often you want to change phone, what kind of services you want to have. Like I have a ChatGPT subscription, and then I just ask myself, do I want that, and decide with myself, yes, that's something I want. I don't need to go to any other boss or something to ask if I'm allowed to have that expenditure, but I get to choose myself what I want. And in the same vein, I also get to choose like what conferences I want to go to, educational material I want to buy, and like I said, how much or how little I want to work. So I really like that with all freedom you get from being able to choose yourself. When I started as being self-employed, then I worked a lot and didn't take that much vacation, but this year I will take much more vacation than what's normal, and I really like that flexibility, that you don't have to count and collect vacation days. Otherwise, if you're employed, then you get your 25 vacation days per year here in Sweden, and then yeah, that's your maximum limit. And if you don't use all of them, then then you're forced to use at least some. You cannot save how many you want, and if you want to take more, then you would need to ask for permission from your boss, and that will affect your salary. But being self-employed, that's totally up to me. If I don't work, then I cannot debit for those hours. If I work, then I can debit. So it's totally up to me, and I have that freedom to choose, which I really enjoy. But I would say that the biggest benefit, I think, from being self-employed, at least I haven't tried it, is that you much better understand your value. So when I was an employed consultant, you were employed, and there are other people like HR, sales people, there are your manager, like a boss, and there's all this overhead, and you don't really know how much does that cost, how is your salary in comparison to that, how much is the customer debited in the end. Perhaps you don't know that as well. So I really like the transparency. If you are on your own, you know exactly your own income and economy and what your expenses are. And since it's only you, you know exactly what your value is. And when you get a consultancy project, maybe it's through some agency who finds consultants for companies, then maybe they will take some slice of that. And but I think that's fair, and then it's very transparent, and they deliver a service, and you pay for that, and that's what I think is the best thing. So I think that's the best thing with being a self-employed consultant, that you better understand your value, and I think that's very good for your future career, that you know much better what salary to ask for. And I'm not totally against being employed, but at least having tried to be self-employed, I think it's very valuable. And I might consider being employed in the future, but then it would need to be something extra. Today I'm a developer, and from time to time I get contacted by recruiters on LinkedIn, sometimes from consultancy firms. And then reading the job description, it sounds like exactly what I'm already doing today. But if it's going to be interesting for me, then it would need to be something more than just doing the same, because I think the benefits of being self-employed outweighs being employed at a company. So for my next step in my career, then it would need to be some higher position, like architect or something, or need to be contain responsibility for other people. But just doing the same thing, but as an employee, that I don't really see for myself, and that I think is very valuable. And if you do consider starting being a self-employed consultant, I think there's zero risk with that almost. You just need to have some money saved, so you can survive for some months without getting paid. Even if you're lucky and get a consultancy gig immediately, it still takes you need to work 1 month, and then you bill your customer, and then you get paid 1 month later, and then an additional month later you pay out salary to yourself. So even in the best case, maybe it's 3 months until you actually get money on your account. So you need to have a small war chest with money, so you don't panic immediately when maybe it takes a little bit of time for you to find a product. And I think especially now the market is quite bad for software developers, maybe more so for juniors and newly graduated developers. Then it's quite tough, but if you have experience, then I think it's well worth to try. And in the worst case, if you try starting on your own and you don't find anything, like in the worst case, just take an employment again. There are so many jobs for, especially then for if you have some experience and you're good at your work, then I don't think there's like any risk. So when I started, I wasn't afraid at all about not finding anything. When I was an employed consultant, I was never without any project. I had multiple ones going on at the same time, and when one ended, I got something new. So if you're able to trust in your own skills and know that you're good, then I don't think you should fear anything. And if you decide on starting a career as a self-employed consultant, there are plenty of companies who help consultants and clients to connect, and for helping companies then to find consultants. They take a cut in between, of course, but I think that's very valuable. So it's not like you need to go and find your own clients, even though if you do that, then you don't have to pay that fee to that middleman. But it's not like you're totally on your own, so it's quite easy to start, I would say. And when looking at those companies who help consultants, they offer a different amount of things. Most commonly it's just for helping to find a project, but some of them they also like has a community where they do trips together and conferences together and hang out with each other. So it's you have a big selection, I would say, with different things that are offered. So even though you are self-employed, you can still find communities of other self-employed consultants. So I think that gives you the best of both worlds. That on the one hand you have the freedom, but you get to choose yourself how much you need other colleagues and what you want to spend money and time on. And then if I would just say one thing about like what type of people who fit as being consultants, and maybe more so being self-employed consultants, I think it's the kind of person who is both strong in the technical side, but also on the social side. So I think it's good if you are like strong in both areas. Some people who maybe are very technical but then difficult to work with, maybe they have an unfriendly personality, then it can be quite difficult to be able to sell yourself and get a client. Then you would need to be really, really skilled for people to be able to put up with you. So if you are a bit normal, able to hang out with people and you're friendly, I think that's very helpful. So just to summarize, I think all developers should have tried being self-employed. I don't think there is like almost any risk with it. I think there are so many benefits with it, and I think it's very educational that you better understand what you're worth and what kind of decisions you can do on your own. So that's a recommendation from me. So if you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. I've been self-employed now for a bit more than 2.5 years, and if you're wondering anything, please just write here below.